for years, we've heard about the skills gap, the idea that we don't have enough workers with the right skills to get the kinds of jobs that are being created. But you rarely hear about solutions to the skills gap for what's called the new collar economy. Solutions like P-Tech, Pathways in Technology Early College High Schools. These are public schools for high school and the first 2 years of college, where you can get an associate's degree in science, technology, engineering, and math. Get this, at no cost. Earlier today, we checked out the original P-Tech school in Brooklyn, which is a collaboration between IBM, New York City, oh yes, and New York State. So take a look.
My name is Aaliyah Charles, and I'm a senior at Pathways in Technology Early College High School. I'm the student director of Girls Love STEM. This world really needs diversity. So why not bring girls in? Women are powerful. Women can shake up the world. You see people like Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, billionaires. Why not have more women at the front lines changing the world? I'm all for a revolution, honestly.
I am Rashid Farad Davis, the founding principal of Pathways in Technology Early College High School. P-Tech is a grades 9 through 14 model here in central Brooklyn, and students generally come in at ages 13 and 14 into 9th grade. They have the opportunity to learn industry experience as early as year 1 with IBM mentors, job shadows, and actually visits to IBM locations.
I'm David Dennis. I graduated from P-Tech in 2017 June. For me, I didn't know where to go. And then I found this place. It provided me opportunities that I can take advantage of and move forward. It literally gives everybody the chance to accomplish your dream in technology.
The IBM relationship is multi-leveled. It's not the opportunity for industry to write a check and say thank you for this, but it's really sharing the intellectual capital. It's really giving inspiration and aspiration to students.
My name is Janielle Richards. I graduated from P-Tech in 2016. I now am a full-time IBMer. I work at IBM. P-Tech is really sort of reigniting a person's faith in themselves. What would happen if you give this person an opportunity? What would happen if you really invest in a community? That is sort of a domino effect because it allows that person, that young person, to really think, what if I really make it out of this neighborhood?
Especially for young Black children. They've been seeing all their lives, so they can only be only a couple of things like football or basketball players or singers. And for people to be hey, you could be in tech too. You could be the next Steve Jobs.
We are preparing students for jobs and careers that are not even invented yet.
I have a lot of dream jobs. Nothing is off limits to me.
Great story. You also got a chance to sit down with Ginni Rometty, the chairman and CEO of IBM, who is the inspiration for P-Tech. Check this out. Ginni, you run a great American company, but sometimes I feel that what I see here may be your greatest legacy. Tell me about it.
Well, we are sitting together in something called a Pathway to Technology Early College High School, P-Tech, a school in Brooklyn. And this is a school that really does serve underserved kids here. And you were one of the folks that early on saw this. And this is an example of a new model of education. And it's, as I said, called P-Tech. And just think of it as a way for this new era that kids that not necessarily have a college degree. In fact, it's a point I'm most worried about, that in the digital era, not everyone can have a college degree in the speed that this era is going to move to be successful. So can they get a job? And this is a model of a 6-year high school with a community college.
So in other words, if you come here, you're going to be on a fast track versus no track.
That's right. That's right. In fact, it's an interesting formula. Now, we've been at it 7 years, so we have got really a great track record. I think it's the most ambitious and most successful program of its kind in the world. We're up to 13 countries, 200 schools, a pipeline of 125,000 kids coming through, and I actually think we're going to hit millions. And we can talk a little bit about how that's going to happen in a not-so-distant future. But the whole model is that in 6 years or less, you get your high school degree and an associate's degree. But the secret formula is it's a curriculum that's aligned to what industry needs, mentorship, internship, and a chance at a job. And you do that, and every child can succeed.
The kinds of jobs you're talking about is a term that you've invented that I now use, the new collar.
Yes.
What is a new collar employee?
Yes. Well, we really came up with a new term, new collar, meaning not white collar, not blue collar. It's about nothing negative or positive. It meant a new type of job that lives at the intersection of technology and business, and that you did not necessarily have to have a degree, a four-year degree. Right. And it was a different paradigm that, Jim, I think is going to be needed to make this an inclusive era. It is one of the things I worry the most. We build these technologies, so I think we have a responsibility. You know, people often talk about trust, that's privacy and security. But we have a responsibility to prepare society for these technologies. And even Department of Labor says every job is going to be impacted. I've always said that 100% of jobs will change due to AI. So what do? In this new kind of job in our company, it would be cloud, cyber. There are many jobs. So the paradigm and the way you should think different is skills, not just degrees or diplomas. So if you have the right skill, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a four-year degree. And then multiple pathways to a new job have to be there, not just the traditional go to college. Now, many kids will, and we'll come back to that,
right.
But you can have a great job. You know, people say you can't be something you can't see. And we want them to see that there is a way to make a great living and a great job.
Now, I think it's important to point out, and you've given me the privilege of being with some of your graduates, that this is not just for show, in the sense that you have made some great hires from this program yourself.
This is important. 15% of our hiring in the United States last year was what we called new collar. 15%, and we hire thousands and thousands. And these are great kids, and by the way, they're often in the underserved parts of the country, or in the U.S., I would say it's places technology left behind, not the two coasts, right? So whether it's Missouri, Louisiana, et cetera. And these kids are extremely, you met some several years ago.
They were sensational.
You were kind enough to kind of catch on to this.
No, I just like this program. This is our borough, and you've done so much good stuff.
But some of the ones that you interviewed at that time, so as an example, Gabe, a great one you interviewed, graduated in less than 6 years. He, by the way, just promoted in the cloud area. You met, Radcliffe.
Yes.
He immigrated from Jamaica. And this happened with a lot of kids. What he did is he works for us. He's a marketing analyst, but any day now he's getting his four-year degree. He's gone back to school. So it's an interesting thing we've watched. From this school here in Brooklyn, we've hired 20% of the kids that have graduated. Believe it or not,
it's first ones.
Oh, by the way, they're all first-generation graduates.
Right.
And the other 80, many have gone on to their four-year degree. So here, what we started out was a way to pull them right into the workforce. They're like, hey, I can be a lot more than this, and they've gone on.
Something else that you've done that I think is maybe it's because of your legacy again and your gender. Women have been left behind, and you're trying to change that.
Yes. So what we did on this idea about making this an inclusive era, because as again I said, I think it's one of the most important things that has to be healed in this digital era. It's got to be inclusive, so that no matter what part of society, you can find a way into a good job here. So one is this new model of education that you're seeing here. We call it PTech, it's scaling like crazy. But the second one is reskilling, and the third is returnship. Yeah, I want to talk in particular, the one on women you're mentioning, returnship in particular started with women who'd left the workforce, maybe a family reason. By the way, it's not just women, but it was predominantly. We're afraid to come back in. We started a returnship program that said, look, we'll run this to get your skills, just you're afraid you're out of date. We'll run from 1 day to 4 months. Whenever you're ready, go back. We've had women stay 1 day, some the whole 4 months, don't have to even work at IBM. Go back, and they just build their confidence again and come back into the workforce. Because that's one of the biggest issues of pipeline of women, is they leave for a reason, is to pull them back in. They're always more critical of their own skills than anyone else's.
I know that you have brought together what I regard as a true coalition in an era where there is so many divisive issues. Unions, you're in, fine. You're looking for the best teachers, of course, obviously. Countries, other businesses, universities. How are you able to pull together a coalition at a time when we pretty much think in this country that you can't do one anymore?
Yeah, this has been, I think, some really great lessons learned. One of my biggest one is that this is about a new model of education, but it's a private-public partnership. And it doesn't matter whether this is a union school, a charter school, a public school, it doesn't matter. This is done with the educators, not to the educators. And we have found around the world, regardless of country, all these educators and teachers want these kids to succeed. Then you give the kids those tools. I have, without exception, every kid has been able to succeed. And so
every kid.
Every kid.
A scale model.
A scale model. Well, we're at 125,000 coming through, and we're not the only ones that hire them. So what we've been able to do is in the U.S., it's 500 other companies. We offer our employees to do mentors. We all take on interns, and then you give them a chance at a job. And that is night and day.
Okay, so you've got CEOs watching the show right now, and they're saying, I haven't stepped up. What do they do to step up? Because you are a lead by example person, but I know you don't want to leave any of them behind if they're thinking, well, this might be a program for me.
Yes, just contact us, because the issue is most of programs, everyone's got a little program or so, they don't scale. The other thing you traditionally hear is people offer online credentials. That's one thing, but this is a curriculum. So this actually prepares you with the soft skills. You know, we're in this school, President Obama had joined us here a couple years ago, actually the governor, the president, we had the mayor here, and they're like, where's a computer lab? I said, no, you don't understand. We teach them the soft skills as much as we do any hard skills, right? And so this is aligning supply and demand. So any of my colleagues, I say there's two things, and your employees love to do this. You know, I said I was in France, and we just launched, France was the 13th country. And it's BNP Paribas, Airbus, L'Oreal, ourselves. Oh my goodness, there's a long list of companies joining us. What the principals of those schools have said to me, again, underserved, these are kids from poverty, no testing. They said these kids never would have had a chance at a job.
They're not eliminated from the beginning, which is what happens.
Yes, this is not a by selection crowd, right? And the graduation rate is 400 times better than the on-time community college. So they look and they see that they have a chance here to do something. And so that has really made a big difference. So all these companies, so I say to my colleagues, contact us. We're happy to put you in a network to do this. The second thing they can do, though, is also change your hiring to accept these new collar kids, because we've done a lot of studies of how when we put out our job requirements, we way overqualify what we need for many of these jobs. It's particularly true in cybersecurity, cloud. You can get kids in this new collar area, and so adjust your requisitions and you'll pull more of society in.
All right, now I know they're giving me a rap, but I got to ask this. What do you say to people where they say, you know what? This is a waste of time. We should be building shareholder wealth, buying back stock. Why is Ginni Rometty spending time on this? It's not what IBM shareholders want. What do we say to them?
Oh, listen, I wholeheartedly disagree. This work, yes, it's important for social responsibility or corporate social responsibility, but this is all about economic responsibility. I need that workforce for my company, and I need society to want these technologies and not be divided over them. So it is both supply and demand, and it is good for business. And these are great employees, some of the most loyal and dedicated you'll ever have.
Well, at a tough time and tough days in the market, I'm going to leave it at that because that is just a message of hope. That's Ginni Rometty. She's IBM's chairman, president, and CEO. Doing well, doing great, doing what we should be doing. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.